Yeah, we do up to 3 cases a month. And at the end of the year, we get extra. I'll give you my debit card, all right?
I'll walk you through so you don't have to squeeze in with me.
Okay.
Just don't try to avoid the buttons.
Yeah, I won't touch anything on top. I'll keep my hand on the bottom.
Right here is how many feet we're going to be. And then this is going to be the angle of the camera.
Okay.
So this, we want it to be downward most of the time.
Okay.
Because obviously you want the water to flow away from your house.
Right.
So the first pipe we're going to see here is going to be your cast. Well, this is PVC, but
Yeah.
unless they replace it all, but it looks like okay. So here's some cast.
Yeah, okay.
So if this is normal what you see, they've obviously done some kind of repair at one point. What ideally we want to see for the cast iron is you really don't want it to be holding water. Some isn't bad. You want it to be just a nice round pipe.
Right.
Because if it's holding water, it can corrode it. So far, it doesn't look bad. Because sometimes what we see is channeling at the bottom. I describe it as your pipe is like it's a fast river running down a riverbed.
Yeah.
And then you see it dry up. You see where the river is, and it chisels it out. That's what water can do to a cast.
Right.
Because realistically, the average life that they say for cast is 3 years, but most of it lasts like 60. So you actually have, like right here is a crack. See
Yeah,
that?
I can see it.
Right there at the bottom. I mean, so that might be an issue at some point, and like it's kind of right there too.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, you see how it goes
It's
down the
kind
pipe?
of running right straight down,
Yep. So that might be an issue that you might see at some point. And usually what you have out in the yard is going to be the clay, which is going to be a smoother pipe, which you look like we're coming up to.
Yeah,
now.
it looks like you're about there now.
Okay. So what I normally do is I zero it out just so we see how long your exterior is. So like right there, you can see like the connection is kind of coming apart a little bit. It's not like set perfectly, usually from roots. And we usually see a joint every 2 feet, 2 to 4 feet, and this is usually where you see your issues.
Right.
So you see how like that joint, it's separating a little bit? Roots do that. Ideally, you want that to be flush. Because eventually it just separates until people have a break.
And then you got dirt falling in all the time.
Yep, and then you're just out of service. People are like, what happens? I'm like, well, there ain't no clearing it once it collapses.
Yeah.
Like, there's a separation. You can kind of see the tree roots up the top.
Uh-huh.
That's usually where they come in, right in the joints.
Yeah.
Because that's the mortar joint right at the top of the pipe.
Gotcha.
And here's a big chunk of it. See all that at the top there?
Yeah.
That's all roots. Good old tree roots and clay lines just don't get along.
Nope.
You're having a little churn here. I don't think your line's that long. See, that's a good separation.
Right.
Yeah, definitely good flow on it. It's definitely running downward, and there's another separation. Okay. Now this is a concrete pipe, so it's transitioning. So we're 22 feet out. We're probably pretty close to the dang street.
Yeah.
So it might be transitioning to concrete in the street. And it's kind of the same thing. What we see with these is concrete is the same type of thing. Roots coming in the joints.
Yeah.
Do you see how it's more rocky looking? That's the concrete. Concrete doesn't look too bad. Your issues are probably that chunk in the yard.
Yeah.
This one doesn't look too bad.
We're about 35 feet out. We're probably getting closer to the street at this point.
Doesn't look bad there. Some residue here. It's holding a little water.
Yeah, now the angle, I noticed, went up for a second there too.
Exactly. So that's all you see when it holds.
Now, which portion of this is the city?
You are still responsible here.
Okay, that's
You're
what I wanted.
responsible to all the way where you connect into the city.
Okay, gotcha.
Which I'm assuming is coming up here.
You have a rough idea what it costs to replace an entire pipe section like this?
I can give you a quote. You are honestly a good candidate for like multiple options. I don't think you really need, unless you want to, do the whole thing. But you're a good candidate for like a spot in the yard, which is just like up a 10-foot section. You're a good candidate for like a full yard. And with each option, you get clean outs. So like instead of Jason coming in here and doing it, you could service it outside.
Oh, okay.
And that allows him to use a bigger blade.
Oh, okay.
And it just cleans it better.
Yeah, it's going up there still.
Yep.
That's not a good thing.
No.
But I think that tree has actually messed with a lot more than just my driveway. My garage is, the whole garage is jacked up, the concrete there. Yeah, I think the foundation on this house has shifted. I've got cracks in my walls.
Close. I think that's it coming up right now. So, so you're responsible to this point.
Okay. 68 feet. Gotcha. Yeah, I know that song.
So,